Alright, now let's get started. I've basically unpacked everything as we can see on the table for the setup, and I've selected these 2-pin kind of a power adapter to actually feed my power supply, which I'm gonna show in the video later. And aside from that, I've unpacked the measuring flask as you can see for the setup, and on top of that I have prepared 2 plastics cup, mainly for the PH Probe Calibration, and an awesome looking reagent customized acrylic container with a fixed acrylic tubing inside. Just looking kind of stylish. This is specially made by Supreme 8. Aside from the 2 plastic cups that I've added earlier, I'm gonna use one more plastic cup over here, and that is for the PH Probe pre-soaking that will be filled with my tank water, and the other 2 cups will be used for mixing of this pH powder. Check out this beautiful reagent container with a removable top for ease of cleaning and filling of reagent. And over here I'll be using this 3-liter water flask for mixing of my reagent. And now I'm going to remove the front cover for the PH Probe soaking. So this process, according to online forum and fellow users all over the world, they are suggesting to at least pre-soak it for 30 minutes, which is why I'm removing it for the initial soaking, and that will save us 30 minutes of waiting time while we prepare the reagent and pH solution. So over here we need to pull out the wire a bit just to have access and remove the pH probe. So while they are soaking, I've noticed while trying to fill up, I can't use these cups because it can't hold 250 ml water, so I changed to this whiskey glass. So here I'm going to proceed to mix the pH powders into the solution for calibration while waiting for the pH probe. I think someone's gonna kill me for making a mess on the table. I should rip it off earlier, seems like it's so much easier to pour. Now I'm trying to find something to stir the solution, which I forgot to prepare beforehand, so just give me a minute. Found this pair of metal chopstick, Korean style. Guess it would be suitable for the task. Let's try it out. Please make sure that the powder is fully dissolved, otherwise it might affect your calibration process. As you can see here, I'm having a bit of difficulty trying to get them dissolved. If you notice, I did not use the same chopstick for mixture of the calibration fluid. That is because it will essentially contaminate the solution. So please take note when you're mixing your pH calibration fluid. Alright, seems like we are done. Let's move on to the reagent preparation. Here we have the 1 liter concentrated KH keeper reagent. The ratio of mixture is 1:9 parts. So taking an example, if we want to mix a 1 liter solution, we'll be using 100 ml of reagent followed by 900 ml of RODI water. Here I have already pre-filled the container with 4.5 liters of RODI water, and I'm going to pour in 500 ml of the concentrated reagent. Of course, the most preferred solution will be pre-measured before pouring it in, but I'm just going to eyeball it using the measuring gauge that is etched on the front of the acrylic. Well, they did say we have to mix it up, so here I am really mixing it up. Now we are good to go. Let's move on. So this is my control panel. As I mentioned earlier, I'm using a unique power bar which I love. This is by Pyro, if I pronounce it correctly, with all my controllers in line. And here will be where the reagent and KH keeper will be. Here's the massive RODI container that I'm using, which I'll replace, and sorry for the mess. Check out this pot, it's so cramped here, that's why I'm trying to use the 2-pin adapter. Check out these 3D printed adapter holders which I did. So it's mounted to the aluminium steel frame that I have. Most probably I'll update again in my future videos. Now let's power up the KH keeper and let's get the calibration started. Firstly, connect to the Wi-Fi of your KH keeper and log in to khkeeper.io. These steps are pretty simple and you can actually just follow. It's just simple 5 steps to connect to your home network and create an account with Reef Factory. Once that's done, just continue on your web browser to calibrate your PH probe. As I previously soaked my probe in my tank water, Now I'm rinsing it in RODI water, then drying it off with a hand towel. Next, I'll just repeat the same step as the PH calibration. Make sure you rinse and dry it, and calibration is complete. Just for the fun of it, I actually dry it again and test the pH probe with my existing tank water that I use to soak the pH probe. This step is definitely unnecessary. I'm just playing around since I've already got this far. Now that calibration is complete, it's just tidying up the loose hoses that's lying around everywhere. And since I have a 3D printed hose holder, I actually use it to keep the filter portion submerged so that it would not affect the actual testing. Here it is, the 3D printed hose holder for your close look. It's pretty simple, nothing sophisticated or complicated, just solve the problem of keeping things intact. Now that we got this resolved, let's remove the beaker and start our calibration of the pump A and pump B, which is the reagent pump, and the aquarium pump, which extracts water out of our sump or our tank. Initially, I thought of using this small cup, but I strongly doubt it. So let's do a proper removal and be very gentle at this junction because the beaker is rather fragile, made of glass, and the connectors are pretty tight for my fat fingers. So what I do is I did a slow push out of the dosing hose holder that is on the main body. I pushed out both of the hose that is inside the beaker and slowly slide it out. And now back to our internet browser, we begin to fill the hose, and at this point make sure that there is no bubbles within all our hose. If needed, just do a gentle tap to make sure the bubbles escape from the hose. That will ensure pretty accurate readings. Once the device have stopped extracting water, let's head back to the internet browser and insert the amount of water volume that is extracted for calibration purposes. After the calibration, let's do a test for accuracy. Pretty accurate reading. Next, I will start calibrating the reagent pump. Similar steps to the above. The only difference is that the water volume or the reagent volume is a lot lower, so I'm using the 10 ml flask over here. Once again, we have to do a test to ensure everything is calibrated properly. Now that calibration is complete, let's fit the components back into the device. The tricky part once again is the beaker. As mentioned before, do not lose the magnetic stirrer, which is used to stir the mixture when doing the KH testing. So as you can see, it's a bit of a tight fitting over here. Just be gentle at this point. For my case, I need to push back the hose which I previously pulled out slightly so as to assess the pH probe and the beaker. For the pH probe, make sure you push back the wire into the back of the body so that it sits flush within the device. Last but not least, fitting back the cage keeper cover. And there you have it, the final product, cage keeper. Here are some of my initial thoughts after going through the entire setup. Calibration wise, it's not that difficult. The only challenge I face is removing the glass beaker from the device, which is a bit of a challenge given that we have only very limited tight space to work with. As Reef Factory has stated, the average aquarium water that they take from our tank is about 50 ml. So with that, if we do not pump the water back into our aquarium, then our salinity might be affected. Based on what they have researched or show us in their social media platform, it seems that so far for users that pump the water back into their sump or their aquarium, no issue have been noticed so far. Whereas for reagent wise, about approximately 7 ml of reagent is being utilized for every test. So depending on how many tests you use or calibrate or configure per day, then that will determine how long that reagent can last you. Also, it seems that the Reef Factory team has been constantly gathering feedback from consumer and customers such as you and me. So based on consumer feedback, they are using it to develop new features as per every firmware update. So based on their latest post in their social media platform on Facebook, it seems that they are releasing a new firmware update that will enable pH monitoring or pH testing in their latest firmware. If you watch my previous video, I did mention that I wanted to get a dosing pump to work hand in hand with the KH keeper. Unfortunately, that I might have to put it on hold because Reef Factory will be releasing their new dosing pumps, including the 3-head dosing pump which can be controlled via the Smart Reef app that most likely will be able to work with our KH keeper and other Reef Factory devices. And one device that I will be keeping a close eye on will be the dosing pump large. That's what they call it. Essentially, it's a large dosing head that actually can be used for automated water change. So bear with me, I will keep everyone updated as and when there is any development in my decisions. If I were to purchase the existing dosing pump, then I will do a video nevertheless. Anyway, if this video has helped you in any way, don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. Thank you very much for watching.